You're asking me if I believe that more manufacturing will come back from offshore, the Far East, back to Europe. Yes, I do believe that. It's very exciting. It's called reshoring. It's been more pronounced in America than Europe so far, but I know a lot of companies, from lingerie through to tailoring, knitwear, that are coming back to Europe, producing in Europe. Maybe not in the main countries, but certainly Portugal is benefiting a lot. Latvia, Romania, Bulgaria, again, are all seeing what it was like in the late 1990s, 2000. Now, the reason is very simple. Obviously, everybody's fed up with the copying. Everybody wants to have speed to market. It's too far away, the distance, because we have to ship it by boat. That takes 6 weeks. That is the sort of obvious reasons. And of course, product development is much, much quicker when it's close to base. But the real problem is this, that the advantage of making in China that we had 10 years ago isn't there anymore. Inflation is still 7 to 10%. Nobody's sure what's going to happen to the renminbi. There's no control on the currency against the dollar. There is definitely a labour shortage. The young people don't want to work in the factories anymore. But the key to the whole story is the transportation. It costs a lot of money to ship back a garment. Now, if you flat pack it garment in a box, then you're talking about $1.50. But when you're late, and often Chinese production is late, you've got to fly it to meet your demands. My God, that could be $12 a garment. So that's a production. And I know already in Carolina, America, they're opening cotton mills again to make sweatshirts in America. And above all, last but not least, we're living in a period of patriotic purchasing. People want product differentiation. They want made in Italy. They want made in England. They want to support their local industry. And that's very, very strong. You're asking me about quality, product evaluation, and value. That's a good question, and a lot of the European industry has suffered badly because of this. When I started in textiles, people were educated. The buyers were educated, everybody knew what they were doing, and they knew what they were buying. For the last 15 years, with the growth of what we call budget retail, those chain stores who managed to sell a coat at 27 euros, 2 pairs of jeans for $10, we have seen a fall away from quality and everything down to price. The first question any buyer ever asks me today is, how much does it cost? That drives me mad. Also, education. The people working in textiles, the people buying textiles, the people organizing textiles are not as educated as before. To save money, stores hire young kids. They don't have the experience of the old school. Some of them, and I've met them, say, my God, that fabric's blue and that fabric's blue. Why is this one more? Well, I say, that's a square weave and that's a twill, so there's more yarn in the twill. But they look the same to me. When you're facing this, you're facing a lot of problems. Now, quality is a big issue, and what I'm very scared about is that we're having a new consumer who has never understood the value of quality as I have at my age, or certainly my parents have. But at the same time, there's a growing school of thought that we're fed up with rubbish. We want clothes that we want. We want not shoulderless dresses. We want clothes that last. We don't want 16 labels on our garment. We don't want to go out of season every 2 seconds. We want investment. And that's a growing public, because we don't have a middle market at the moment. It has been swamped by either super, super expensive or cheap, 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 cheap. But there is a demand for it, and we're going to see, step by step, starting at community level, starting at medium to high level, a return to a quality buy. Now, let's not get excited. That will only be 5% of the market. But I know that the young kids, my own daughters, for example, are fed up with the rubbish they've been buying. They're looking for more quality. So that's a positive sign. We're getting there again, thank goodness. So we talked about fashion, and you want to know what I think will be the big social changes. There's going to be 3 big social changes. There's going to be growing concern about the morality of fashion. It started with the Renza Plaza in Bangladesh, but it's moving also into whole things about the value for money, the cost of a product, what it costs to bring it, transparency. Why does the product cost what it costs? How did it get there? And who's the company I'm dealing with? That is growing all the time. Number 2, We'll see a rise of competition to white box retailing, to the multiple chain stores. We're going to see more what I call community shopping. Now, Italians have always had that. You've always had a fragmented retail and small shops selling underwear and bras. And so, of course, they've been disappearing like that. But I think that will come back. It will come back in a new way. There will be community-centered. They'll be very modern. They'll be different. And they'll appeal to people who care about the environment, care about local production, and care about connoisseur. They want to know about a product, the history. They want service, they want the personality. Let's not get into the discussion of e-tailing versus bricks and mortar, because that's very simple. They coexist. They will coexist. Whoever's in e-tailing is now opening bricks and mortar shops. Whoever's in bricks and mortar is doing e-tailing. They're coexisting. But the big question, of course, is our youth, the kids out there. My own children, who are sort of 26, 20-something, they've been knocked a lot. They've been having a lot of bad press. Their parents complain they never do anything. They stay at home. They always want Dr. Gabbana without working, blah, 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 blah. And they think we are, soaking up the economy. We spoiled the whole future for them because we were boomers. They are jobless, and that is the problem. But what I like about them is three things. They're very serious about the community. They are not making the same mistakes their elder brothers left. They care about community. They care about environment. They care about the whole wheels of interlocking society, economics, and community. They're serious about it. Number two, they've realized that we messed up and they have to find a new way of doing things. And they realize that we can't give them answers because we just don't know how to do it. So they're busy with their own future. They're busy with networking. They're busy with what I call social working. They're working in teams together. They're very different to us. The children of today are entrepreneurs. They like to do things. We were entrepreneurs, but they're entrepreneurs. They like to do things in teams and together. We always did things on our own. I want to be the boss. I want to be the chairman. They're very team-like. So that suits social working, social cooperatives. And that will drive the whole do-it-yourself business, which is huge. And that do-it-yourself business would, of course, be supported by technology, whether it is robotics, three-dimensional printing, additive manufacturing, or better CAD/CAM and all this kind of story. The cost of developing a product, which used to be huge, how do I get a prototype out? So it's now coming down and down and down. We have crowdsourcing where they can test it without cost. It's a different future, and they are very aware about both the technology of it and the importance of the environment and the natural side of it. Wonderfully balanced. They're having a bad time, but I think they can sort out the future. This is my third season with MarediModa, and I've got to say the team and I really enjoy working with you. It's been a growth for us, it's been a growth for you. We're seeing that show get stronger and stronger and stronger. And the reason it's getting stronger is the people showing are more confident. Okay, the economy is getting better, they're slightly more optimistic. I said today that the big boom next year will be holidays. Holidays is a growth area for consumer spending, so that can only benefit the swimwear business. That's excellent. But what it's about, all the things I've talked about, they are small. They're not in a big exhibition with 1,100 manufacturers. They are niche, they are dedicated, people know what they're going to get, and they're European. And they've been under attack. Everybody knows, even Brazil is amazing, because the Brazilians, famous for their bikinis and so many great labels, got killed by the Chinese. This European industry has stuck it out, and they've stuck to their guns, and they've seen through the crisis. They're seeing a public that wants something different, and they can't get that something different outside MarediModa manufacturers. And they're looking for creativity, both on an innovation level, a technological level, and a whole creative field of pattern and design. Because we're not talking about simple flat fabric anymore. We're talking about multiple design, working across texture, color, light, finishing, sensation. That's a very hard thing to engineer. So MarediModa can only get stronger.